And now I would like to request our chief guest to present his inaugural address on future ships, the changing face of the oceans. Dr. Sajid Hussain.
First of all, by the grace of Almighty Allah, ultimately our team from Bangladesh Marine Academy is here. We call our academy as a maritime motherland, and this is also a maritime motherland for the promising future marine professionals. Respected principal of the institute, the vice principals, the organizer of this very august association, I should say, and the faculty members and our future marine professionals. Personally, I say my cadets that when I see myself in the mirror, I don't see myself, I see the future cadets who will be taking charge of the future. And today, in fact, the theme of Transtech 19 evolves if we become a little bit more futuristic. I remember when I was a junior cadet in 1979 in the Bangladesh Marine Academy, I presented a paper in our weekly cadets talk that Bangladesh Marine Academy 2079, in the year 1979, it was on the 2079, and at that time, one of the faculty members said, when I described some of the futuristic themes, he commented that he could include something like whether there will be any ships or not by 2079. Matter transmission could be invented. If matter transmission is invented, then there is no transportation business at all. Anyway, today actually how far we can see, 2030, 40, 50, 60, 70, that's all, not more than that. If we compare the past, have you heard about, probably I am sure you have heard about the person named Michio Kaku, a physicist. So Michio Kaku has written a book called Visions. I have translated it in our language. He has shown that the world in 2100, 2200, something like this, amazing. So anyway, first, my introductory part is there because what I have stated. The TMI has thought about it. TMI has arranged this. Transtech 2019, I mean, which is very, very timely one. This is the time when the youngsters will be inspired to think about the future and be ready for the future. Just as an introductory part, there are 50,000 merchant ships trading in international voyages. We know the definition from IMO STCW that sea time is counted in ships. When you say ships, ships by definition a piece of wood. If it is floating and if it can be used for transporting human or cargo, then by definition it is a ship too. But in our sense, ship engaged in international voyages. So there are 50,000 ships in our sense by definition. Every year 62.7 trillion ton-miles of cargo are being transported. So it's a huge, huge industry, another shipping, another world, I mean. IMO Secretary General Peter Lims said during launching of the report, Transport 2040, Automation, Technology and employment, the future of work. It is downloadable. So I suggest the cadets, those are enthusiasts, you may collect this one very easily. How will the seafarer of the future manage the challenges related to an increasing level of technology and automation? Nowadays, when you sleep in the cabin bed, meters, sensors, alarms, surrounded, maybe you are in a dreamland of automation. How will the new technologies impact the nature of jobs in the industry? What standards will seafarers be required? Or how the IMO is going to have the strategy to integrate this new and advancing technology. Another person is WMO President, Dr. Cleopatra Doumbia Henry. On this very special International Women's Day, we pay respect to her excellence. She is also worried about the ongoing changes or welcoming the future. Transport industry is a vital service to the national economy and the global community. Innovation and technology have always been part of it, so and so, but on the second part, it may lead to a reduced demand of workers of a certain profile and may create new demands, again, a hope, may create new demands for workers with different qualifications. If ships are autonomous, then shore-based seafarers' demand will go definitely high. So currently, the ship designers are continuously on the desk inventing new technologies and other things, converting the traditional ships into autonomous one with high tech, of course, and we'll see very soon that wind-powered drones may circle over the ocean and there will be robotic control, no doubt about it. We have heard already, so therefore I will not elaborate on these things, but crewless ship means how we are going to welcome this anyway. If there are no crews on ship, then there will be extra space available for cargo. And then in the designing superstructure and other things, yes, our designers will have more leeway or freedom to design accordingly. For example, the weight and necessity of ballast will be there or not. So the elimination of heating, ventilation and air conditioning, food, water and life sustainability, I mean all the tasks on board related to the seafarers or human presence will not be there and therefore increased amount of cargo space. In the third point, ships will have 2, 3, 4 propellers. So therefore ships, just because that it depends nowadays on one propeller normally, there are more dual propellers. So there will be dual propellers or maybe triple or quadruple. Fuel will be replaced by LNG, as you have heard already. Unmanned engine room will not have any oxygen to ensure fireproof environment. So future ideas are fantastic. It's an example from Wärtsilä that today in the video we have seen is really amazing. So 3 primary possible opportunities might be there: autonomous controls or self-driving, remote operation, that is one, and reduction of elimination of crews. These are the scenario if autonomous vessels come, let's say from 2022, as said by Wärtsilä and Rolls-Royce and others. So land-based operators will be required, and we can see the ship's shape is also different. As it comes to port or enters a congested area, a remote operator could take full control, like the pilot nowadays. Future ships control will be human or by robot. This is quite obvious that ship's hull design, they are thinking about replacing the iron or steel by glass fiber or plastic. Weight will be reduced. This is according to EU Project Fiber Ship. You can, particularly the young cadets, you can go to the website and in the internet. So 3D printing, which is already there. So on-board 3D printing facilities will be there, in particular reference to this project. So there are ideas around. So low-tech solution from the Mars has already discovered that it can cut fuel use 30%. And second point states that more slender ships design with obviously high speed with slow speeds, and all these things fuel, anyway, less fuel. Japan's Eco-Marine is another example that they are coming back with rigid sails, sailing ship again. In the picture we see that ship shape is different with solar panels and others. Japan's NYK boasts that it's designed for a 350-meter long container ship, Super Eco Ship 2030. Another interesting project is going on, which will be using LNG to make hydrogen run to run fuel cells. Volanius will himself with Oracili. This is not new, in fact, although their research is going on for quite a few years. They have announced that by 2025, this particular the bottom picture on the bottom right, the sails with quite amazing ship of the future. Alternate here is another technology is that the giant cruise ship powered this way, carrying up to 7,000 passengers, will be launched by MSC Cruises starting in 2022. The first LNG powered cruise ship, Viking Grace, another ship is coming into scene, and that is also quite interesting. So this is all about. Now at the end we will see some of the direct examples, 10 future ocean going ships, Mars EEE vessels. I will suggest that today elaboration is not so necessary, but anyway, particularly suggestion to the youngsters of the future. You see these examples, how the faces of the oceans are being changed with time. NYK is coming with EcoShip 2030. STX Europe's EOSIS, another LNG diesel solar. It will use LNG diesel, solar and wind energy, triple fuel ship. Eco-Marine powers wind solar ship, another example, which will be using rigid sails or photovoltaic sail. The Shell's FLNG, the largest floating structure in the world. It's quite interesting. In the internet, it will be very interesting visiting the site for this sea giant. Kawasaki's Kaizen's futuristic car carrier. Probably it doesn't look like the car carriers today. Green quotient, it has many features being green. DNV's E-Core is another research is going on with combination of various technologies, and it is will improve loading efficiency. This one I have mentioned before, the world's first zero emission vessel. So therefore people will be more benefited, I mean the earth will be more benefited. DNV's triality is another outcome with dual fuel, and this will not require any ballast. Sulfur carbon offset design, green tankers, 75% reduction of harmful emissions. So therefore, the ship's shape is showing that it is the ship of the future. Anyway, this is a very small presentation. Today we have heard about Mr. Sherry's presentation on autonomous ship, and that has elaboration on this particular area. When you are talking about the sustainable transportation, definitely we have to think about, let me go back to 1979, that at that time when I mentioned about 2079, and then it was told that whether there will be any ships or not. So sustainable transportation will take another form, totally another form. We predict that all the products will be divided into molecules, will be transported through ether to destination, and again they will combine themselves to its original shape, and the cargo will be delivered. So it could be like this, maybe today, maybe 1,000 years later. But if mankind is there, if civilization exists, there is no doubt about that civilization. If we have any doubt, okay, let's look back to 500 years ago. How was the life? People used to live in a house. His whole life used to be confined within 5 miles, 10 miles, or 12 miles. In one house, everyone used to live. Evening means go to bed, and then the child death rate high there, because there was no medicine or anything, any medical facilities. How we have changed ourselves, how the world has changed within last 500 years. So what might happen within next future 500 years? But we are very hopeful, because the youngsters at the moment, they are very, very dynamic. I will end up with one cartoon, very popular in our country. In the past, teachers used to speak, students used to listen. Current, teachers speak, students also speak. In the future, students will speak, teacher will listen to them, because they will be so intelligent by the discussion or the amount of sea of knowledge in their hand, that I myself left my schooling and other things maybe 30 years before. Today's students, they are 2019 model. So this is how the world goes. And last but not the least, today is the International Women's Day. Bangladesh Marine Academy introduced or took a very bold step in 2012 to introduce the women in our academy, and the female cadets had extreme difficulty getting into sea for about 4 or 5 years. Since last year, all the problems over, and our cadets are female cadets, beside the male cadets, are sailing in BSC merchant vessels or other ships also. So in this very special day, we respect that all women to be respected, and as a person, not as a female or male. When I deal with someone means a person, and we respect all the women